I mean, let's not forget that it's been a long time since Real Madrid beat Barcelona at the Bernabeu. So in a way, if you're a fan and you've been there and you've seen it before, you feel like, okay, this is one like the last 4 years or 5 years or 6 years, whatever it was.
Exactly. That's exactly it. That's exactly the context in which all this happens.
However, I still cannot understand how a midfield of Arthur, Busquets and De Jong can't beat the press in the second half and can crumble so much. I mean, Busquets, for me, and I said it last year and I got slaughtered on social media, but for me, Busquets is gone. Busquets is gone. Busquets cannot play in a game like this against a team, I took him in the second half, against any team that will put a lot of pressure on him. I think he will always struggle now. And I think he sees the game, he's still ahead of everyone else, but still half a second slower than he used to. And I think in a game like that second half, I think Setien should have changed something far earlier than he did with Braithwaite, for example.
Yeah, I mean, I want to ask you about Setien's changes here because obviously, well, you've got a long-standing. I mean, Braithwaite, I think, is something like your BFF if, for people who listen to your Spanish football podcast. But it struck me that Exhibit 101 is if you're being pressed. And you're being pressed high and you're struggling to get out. And I know Barcelona don't like to do it, but they have done it in the past. They did with Pep. The out ball to somebody somebody pacey or somebody who can run with it from the back is just always an option. And except for Jordi Alba and occasionally, Semedo I thought did all right. It's not something that they were able to do. I mean, is this really where maybe he should have thought of putting in rather than your friend Braithwaite? Maybe Ansu Fati or somebody who's got those legs who can do that, because let's face it, Griezmann, I don't know if he woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but he was terrible, I thought, and Messi really had an off night as well.
Yeah, look, I think let me pick on your premise a little bit, which is that I think the out ball is really, really important, and I think one of the things that coaches even at junior level will insist on now is this idea of beating the press, and you can beat the press through, round or over. And obviously over has to be an option. However committed you are to keeping the ball on the deck, over has to be an option. And if it's played well, then over can be a very good option. And of course, this is particularly where Ter Stegen comes in. And one of the things Barca seemed to be trying to do last night, which I think Madrid didn't do, was invite Madrid to press Ter Stegen and to bring them right on top of them and then go over. So now it's curious because they don't like living with a press, but they sort of wanted it, or at least they wanted it on Ter Stegen, to be able to ping that ball over to the open man. Now, the thing was, the reason why I say I want to take issue with your premise a little bit is because I think the focus from Barcelona isn't the ping ball for the man running through. Because to be honest, however quick you are, whether it's Braithwaite or Ansu Fati or Dembele, if and when he ever becomes fit, though whether it's one of those, it's not really the ball through the gap to run onto that is the out ball. Because obviously, particularly against Real Madrid, Varane still beats you to it because Varane's incredibly quick. It's more the ball to the player that can win it, either on his chest or in the air, bring it down, and then play from there, having broken that first wave of pressure. Which, of course, is what Luis Suarez does. And without Luis Suarez, they've got literally no one who can do this. So they don't have that out ball, which is part of the reason why, bizarre though it seems, we're seeing Arturo Vidal play in this slightly high right-sided position. Why? Because he's the one and only player that the coaching staff believe that they can play that ball to. That he will bring it down, that he will maybe win it in the air, that he has got the aggression. Because if you play a long pinged ball up to Griezmann, forget it. If you play it up to Messi, forget it. So you've got to play it to someone who has the capacity to bring it down. And Barcelona, frankly, don't have that player. They also, in the absence of Dembele, don't really have the player that runs into space, although you've mentioned Fati, and I think there is an element of truth in that. I think he certainly can do a bit of that. So I think in part, when you look at Setien's changes, I think they have to be seen, in part at least, in context of how little there was on the bench to make the changes. And Braithwaite comes on and immediately goes past, I think it's Marcelo, and creates that first chance. You think, here we go, now there's some cutting edge that wasn't there in the first half. But it's not, I don't think it's really about the out ball, because I think that out ball doesn't have a target, because without Luis Suarez, there is no one to aim at.
All right. Final point on individuals. You mentioned, I mean, on the Real Madrid end, I thought Varane was pretty monstrous in this game. Yeah. He occasionally reminds us how we often leave him out of the conversation of the top 3 or top 5 in the world, maybe because some people don't even think he's number 1 at Real Madrid among center backs. But man, the guy's a beast.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, it is true. It is true. In fairness, before this season, last season he was disastrous. And I'm not sure whether it was a post-World Cup thing or what it was, but last year he was awful. But this year he really does look very, very good. And one of the things about his speed and his ability to recover is it always seems so effortless. He doesn't seem to need to go. He doesn't go in for the epic. He doesn't go in for the heroic. He just does it, if you see what I mean, without having to be flying all over the place. He's I suppose in a way he's almost the opposite of Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, he's so much under control. You're right.
Definitely.
I mean, I hadn't looked at it that way, but I thought obviously Toni Kroos I thought made a difference, and they probably could have used him against City. But final point on this, I was kind of surprised that Ferland Mendy was left out for Marcelo. I thought Marcelo had an up and down game. I thought though that when he went and he caught up with Messi, I thought that was pretty special.
Just for that, yeah.
But
it's to overload that left-hand side, right? That's the whole idea, is that Marcelo is always going to be more attacking than Mendy, although Mendy's a good
Mendy can
crosser
do
of the ball.
both. So
yeah, I know, but Marcelo will especially attack more, and that's what you saw. You saw a lot.
It was almost a back three at times.
And you saw a lot of Real Madrid attacking on that left-hand side with Vinicius and Marcelo, and had both of them be more clinical in their crosses, on their passes, or the decision-making, you could think that Real Madrid would have had more chances.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.